Going to end with some coaching tips for you, though. If you've ever seen me coach, or if you've ever seen pictures of me coach, quite often I will hold my arm across a tackle shield when people are tackling it. And that's to get the player to bend down more, to bend the legs more and get their shoulder underneath my arm. Or sometimes I use a pole and move away at the last minute. And what that does, it creates more power in the tackle. And I often go around players when I am doing tackle technique stuff on tackle shield. And I notice that every player tackles a little bit differently. So you have to adjust them. Every single technique is different with slightly different quirks to fix. And a broad brush tends not to happen. The key thing is, and this is what I was hinting at earlier in terms of if you focus on drills too much and not the skills. When I coach, it's all about the skill, not the drill. So the drill I do to teach tackle technique is so simple, the players can't get that bit wrong. Look, you have to move forward 2 meters, tackle the shield, move back 2 meters, right? That then allows them to focus on that and then focus on their skill. So they focus on doing what they need to do. So the process of the drill, if you like. If that process of the drill takes a long time to understand, you're taking away from focus on the drill. So if the drill is really simple, I can focus on fixing their skills. The player can apply all their energy without confusion into fixing it too. And then that also gives them room to coach players in different ways. So player one will tackle, head might be out too far to the side. Get your head tighter, buddy. Tackling player two, feet might be too far away, so on and so forth. And then as I'm going around that drill, if I say a common problem pop up 3 times, I stop it and try and fix them all together. And then, of course, there's the way that you deal with different players. So some of them need different feedback. So some need one word, some a sentence. Some you need to stop and explain it in detail. And that's because we're all different. We all learn differently. No 2 people are the same. So we have to coach them differently. And what's particularly good in that scenario, if you can get a good assistant with you who can do that work for you while you're stood back as a head coach and you can oversee things, that works out really well. Because remember, no 2 people are the same. And many people have different abilities, different habits, different histories. And when we do this one-size-fits-all approach to anything in rugby league, fitness programs, training programs, it's crazy to think they'd all react exactly the same to the same instruction and feedback. Real coaching coaches the individual within a group or team activity. And we coach the person. And we have to coach people, not just players. We have to let them know that we care for them. So when I do the coach mentor program with individual coaches, they all get an individual program. I don't give them a program and say, there you go, just follow that. We talk in detail about their circumstances. I spend as much time talking about or asking questions about their circumstances. Have a look at rugbyleaguecoach.com.au/coach mentor. That's rugbyleaguecoach.com.au/coach mentor. When I am working with coaches, I find quite often they plan without clear specifics on a learning goal or a learning objective. And I always ask the question of the coaches, what do you want to learn? What do your players need to learn in this section of the game, of the training session, sorry. Okay, so quite often I see a coach plan and they'll put 3 different things in. and I say to them, that's too much. Some players can only consume one thing at a time. So when you're planning your stuff this week, and if you need help, get in touch, but you should be able to make, if needed, a short statement about the goal of a session, about the series of sessions that you're doing or part of a session, and what players are expected to learn by engaging in it. So if I said to you, what you're doing in training today, Billy, and you go, we're going to really focus on grip, pass, catch, carry today, How are you going to do that? We're going to do a series of activities, blah, 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 blah. I'd walk away and go, sweet. If you said to me, Billy, what are you doing today? And you said, yeah, we're going to do a bit of passing, then we're going to do some ruck control, then we're going to do this, we're going to do these 4 different types of ruck control. And I go, hang on a minute. And by using learning objectives, and you can then attach some success criteria to that. And also the players can think about what they're learning too and assess whether they've understood it and able to do it. And they can relate to what they're doing. And if you listen to Joe Crompton Meyer on my last Coach Stories podcast that came out last week, he talked about the start of each session. He recaps what they did in the last, and you can tell he's a teacher because that's a common thing that teachers do as well. And if you're constantly going back to what the players are learning, then you know they're going to retain it. And if that's all clear and they know and you know, it's a lot easier for the players to pick up on what is in the session rather than if the session is all over the place. So that's learning goals and being very clear about what each part of your session or that session in general, what are you trying to achieve in this session? And if it's a convoluted answer, you're coaching too much. And I don't care if that's adults or kids.